Welcome. Good afternoon. I think we have a quorum. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's call on item number 1A. That is the approval of the minutes of November 4th, 2013.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays, abstentions, corrections? No? Welcome.
Hi, sorry about that.
Item number 1B, policy calendar number 1B1, Baruch College BA in Communication Studies. Julia?
I think you're in the wrong meeting date.
Sorry.
That's okay.
John Jay, okay.
Katerina.
John Jay
wrap it up.
College BA,
Exactly.
wait a minute.
That's wrong.
Somebody said,
Is it not clear?
Yours is right.
okay, this is set up. So John Jay College BA in Latin American and Latina Studies. Latino Studies.
Okay. Oh, I got it back. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, our first item is John Jay and BA in Latin American and Latino Studies. This program is designed to strengthen John Jay's offerings of traditional liberal arts programs focusing on equality and justice. Students will be prepared for a range of entry-level careers in public service and the nonprofit sector. The interdisciplinary curriculum, which includes 2 research courses and a required capstone experience, also provides strong preparation for graduate or professional studies.
I would like to, with great pride and delight, move this for approval by the committee.
Second,
Seconded.
discussion? No?
What was the rationale for it again?
Since she's in such a strong support.
At John Jay.
Karen, you want to do?
Do you want to speak to that? Well, this program is meant to capture the interest of many of the students at John Jay, the undergraduates. It has a very large Latino population at John Jay, and many students who are interested not just in their own heritage, but in understanding the social context and of the expression of that heritage from Latin America and other areas.
The chair of the department is here, if you would like him to speak, but 40% of our students are Hispanic.
At John Jay.
At John Jay, yes. And there's a strong justice theme, as in, this is part of our expansion of our liberal arts majors.
Gotcha.
To become a full-fledged liberal arts college. So we're very excited about this, and this is very important addition to our offerings.
I might add that John Jay has worked on this program for a number of years, and they have perfected it over that time.
John Jay is closely working with the Dominican Republic, especially with the police department there. We have a lot of police coming over here and being trained. I think not only many of the community there, but also the president. I'm advisor to the president of the Dominican Republic, and I know how pleased they are with John Jay. You know, it is amazing. They have a very good feelings about this. So I really move and I second and support this initiative.
Anybody else? If not, let's call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Item number 1B2, John Jay College also, BS in Cell and Molecular Biology.
Okay. This program builds on John Jay's existing strengths in forensic science. This is a very well-known program at John Jay, offering another STEM major in a field with rapid job growth. The curriculum provides a foundation in basic life sciences and a specific focus in cellular and molecular biology with integrated laboratory experience. The program prepares students for entry-level technical positions in biomedical science as well as for advanced study. Because this is the college's first degree in the biological sciences HEGIS category, a master plan amendment will need to be approved by the state authorities.
Again, I would like to move this with pride and enthusiasm.
Okay. Any discussions?
I would like to say we have, because we were limited in 1976 to the mission of criminal justice, we have only one a science major now, which is forensic science. And we have many students who are interested in other forms of science. And this is our first of what we hope will be several new science majors. So students who are interested in forensic science study biology, chemistry, and physics. Sometimes they wish to specialize in biology, and this major would answer that. Sometimes they wish to major in chemistry, and so we'll be proposing a chemistry major and so forth. But this is the first step to expanding our liberal arts and sciences offerings.
I think it's a very important step for the college.
And it's exciting too. Okay, let's call the question. If there are no further discussions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item number 1B3, Baruch College, MA in Arts Administration.
This proposed program is a result of collaboration among Baruch College's 3 schools. The program will be housed at the Weissman School of Arts and Sciences, with the Zicklin School of Business and the School of Public Affairs also participating in curricular development and course offerings. The curriculum is informed by the local market needs and focuses on the essentials of managing diverse types of arts organizations. Students will have access to professional internships and a consultancy opportunity in their final semester.
Okay.
I might add that this is in line with what CUNY is hoping to encourage a more innovative set of master's programs. And so this is a step in that direction and much to be appreciated in that regard.
In a growing field.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
any more discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item number 1B4, CUNY School of Journalism, MA in Social Journalism.
Well, this is another innovative master's program. It will equip students with the skills necessary to use new social tools as platforms for public information and to engage with communities in facilitating public discussions. The CUNY School of Journalism has already raised $400,000 from private sources and expects to raise at least $500,000 per year to support scholarships and other program expenses based on its impressive fundraising record.
Do we know how many students do they have in there?
I don't think we ever know for sure until a program opens its doors, but I think they anticipate there will be strong student interest.
I suppose that the Hispanic will be part of the
Oh, yes.
of the student.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
So moved.
So, okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Number 1B5, BMCC, AS in School Health Education.
Okay, this program will prepare students for seamless transfer to school health education baccalaureate programs that will prepare students for teaching positions in high schools. Additionally, students could seek employment in community health education, a rapidly growing field.
So moved.
Discussions, questions?
I
Nope.
think this is excellent.
Yes, it's about time.
Yeah.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Item number 1B6, Hunter College, BA in Human Biology.
Well, this is an innovative program also. It's a multidisciplinary major that aims to integrate the biological, psychological, and sociocultural approaches. It will provide good preparation for students intending to pursue graduate study in a number of health-related fields.
So moved.
Okay. Any
Second.
discussion? Okay. No questions? So let's call the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 1B6,
Seven.
1B7. City University of New York Academic Policy on Military Service.
Okay, so this is a different kind of an item. It's a policy item rather than a new program proposal. But this proposed policy facilitates access to CUNY educational offerings for military personnel and veterans. The policy provides a comprehensive update of various policies established by the university over the years. In some cases, such policies go back to the 1940s and 1950s and no longer reflect current realities. And this policy provides a whole range of ways to make it easier for veterans and current military personnel to enter CUNY and to make progress within the university.
May I have a motion to move this
So
forward?
moved.
Seconded?
Second.
Okay. Discussions?
I had the honor to serve on the task force that developed these proposals. It's a task force that Chancellor Goldstein appointed a Council of Presidents task force with a representative of the University Faculty Senate and University Student Senate and members of the central administration. I strongly recommend that this committee approve these proposed changes.
I also served on the task
Oh,
force,
yes,
and it
of
was a
course.
rather comprehensive effort.
It's not an
And,
easy subject.
It's a good set of revisions.
Anna, you have a question?
I just was curious to know if this was mostly just to help aid those who had committed to military service and served just to go to school, or if there was other kind of. I saw that there was aid. I mean, there were certain fees that were waived for them. Does this also help, like with scholarships, or is that something separate completely?
I think that's separate, but this does encourage colleges to consider offering credits for skills acquired while in the military. You know that many military tasks require training and expertise, and so national agencies have worked out sort of a set of equivalencies from the training that military personnel have received, what would be a reasonable equivalency in terms of course credit. And so colleges retain the freedom to decide whether or not to allocate course credit. That's a matter for them to decide, but it does encourage them to consider this systematically.
It allows for greater flexibility in accepting transfer credits.
Any more questions? If not, let's call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Motion, item number 1B8 and 1B9 are both York College. I see President Messiah Keys is here. Welcome. So the first item on the item 1B8 is establishment of the Department of Nursing.
Okay,
So
this,
I apologize.
are there comments? York College proposes to create a standalone Department of Nursing in line with prevailing CUNY practice. This action will facilitate the maintenance of professional accreditation standards and will aid student advisement. 2 tenured faculty members and 6 untenured faculty members will be transferred from the Department of Health Professions to the new Department of Nursing. This action was approved by the York College Senate on March 25th, 2014.
I'd like to hear more about the Department of Nursing. I mean, the rationale and the composition of the student, how long they will stay there.
I'd like to say a word or two.
Sure.
The nursing program at York has existed for 40 years. It has, however, been an RN to BSN. Essentially, the students who come to us at York are nurses from the associate degree, and then they come to us to complete. But 5 years ago, we also enhanced that by establishing the generic nursing program, and we expect to grow that program. We have just received our baseline accreditation for 8 years for that program, and a renewal for 8 years of the earlier program, and we are positioning ourselves to develop some master's programs, especially around some online offerings. So that's kind of where we are. In terms of the students, we graduated 20 in the generic nursing this year and 35 in the BSN program. They run the gamut of nationalities and ethnic groups. And gender, we have men in the program, just so you know. Some
wrong with
good
that.
clinical training going on with the men. And we expect to grow the program. You should know that in terms of the bachelor's of nursing in the Queens region, we are in the CUNY.
There's any figure about the Dominican participating there or Latino?
there
You know
any-
how many you have?
Oh,
You graduated?
I couldn't tell you the number.
No, the graduation. No, this year graduating.
You mean the whole number of
Yes.
Dominican students? Remember, I called the names and I listed Dominicans among my list from A to Z, but I couldn't tell you the exact
Oh, I
numbers.
see,
And
I see.
certainly I couldn't tell you that in nursing, but I can get that information for you.
I think it's important because what happened here in New York is that many physicians are leaving. They are abandoning the field because of the many problems that we are encountering with the, I don't want to mention the care, but I think that eventually the whole community will be served by nursing, you know. And especially in my field of psychiatry, there's going to be a lot of psychiatric nurses now that have been taking place on most of the psychiatrists around the community. And I think it's important that we train those individuals in those fields.
Okay. Karen?
Yes, I have a question, President Keith.
Yes.
So this is a governance question. Since there are 2 tenured people and 6 untenured, and since the bylaws of the Board of Trustees says that the Department Personnel and Budget Committee may have a maximum of 1 untenured member of the faculty on the 5-member committee, how will you have a 5-member Department P&B?
Well, we will work out the details, because I do know that there have been exceptions made in programs which are existing under 3 years. In other words, this will be a new department, and so there's an exception for a new department.
I think that's right. I think
Yep, there is.
a similar issue came up with regarding another college with a program, but that program only had a total of 2 faculty.
Right,
And
that
this
was- I
one you
know.
can see being replenished, assuming these people are lucky enough to get tenure or are fortunate to receive tenure, then the program will naturally grow as well.
Yes, I know, but the issue is that right now, untenured people will be voting on other untenured people and on people's
Let me also
promotion.
say, there
It's
are a
not
couple of things we
supposed to-
can do. We can get an exception, but we can also have an arrangement where we bring tenured faculty from another department,
Right.
probably, for instance, the health sciences, which is where it resides now, to review those matters, and then it would come up through the college P&B.
Ladies
that
and
would-
gentlemen, if I may interrupt, since this is a historic moment. Welcome. I think you all know who this new gentleman is, and welcome.
JB.
I hope I
Welcome.
won't be typically late for your meeting.
No, I am almost late, so don't feel bad. Welcome to the club.
Thank you very
So,
much.
Would
It's
you
great
care
to
to say
be
a
here.
few words?
Started the day meeting with some of my colleagues, the presidents and the deans, finishing with the trustees. It's a great day, spending much of this week attending commencement ceremonies across CUNY with 2 tomorrow. It's a great time to arrive, and could not be more excited
Are you
about
going to the
joining all
graduate
of
center
you.
one?
What's that?
Are you going to the graduate center?
I am.
one?
I'm starting at Hostos tomorrow and
yeah.
finishing with the
I'll
graduate
be
center.
joining
so
you in the afternoon.
Terrific. Look
Yes.
forward to that. Thank
Welcome.
you.
We are absolutely delighted.
Thank you very much.
Sorry I interrupted the important question about nursing. Trustee Shorter, you have some questions about?
Well, I wanted to know whether the establishment of the department, it's not for a degree, it's for a concentration?
No, it's a degree. There are 2 degrees that we're offering in that department.
So the establishment of this department leads directly to the Bachelor of Nursing.
Right,
program.
2 bachelors, the BSN, which is the
Does it
2 plus
articulate this, or
2.
did I read it too quickly?
You have, I'm sure you have articulation
Yes,
agreements.
we most certainly do. We
But
have
in our
very good
resolution, does it
relationships with
specify
Queensborough and
that?
LaGuardia in the borough, and then with
specify in
BMCC
our
outside of the
This is how
borough.
the faculty
This is just a summary of the resolution, but the proposal will have the information on that.
So we're voting on the proposal or the resolution, which subsumes the fact that this is a degree initiative as opposed to just a concentration.
The degree already exists, but this is a reorganization to create a freestanding Department of Nursing, but it doesn't change
Within the
the,
degree granting component of the school.
Yes.
Anna?
Okay, I wasn't clear.
Yeah, sorry.
I just wanted to say it's often confusing with the different nursing degrees. I know being a nursing student myself at Hunter College, oftentimes it's confusing to explain like what the difference between an RN and a BSN RN and the associate's RN versus the MSN. So I really, just knowing how many students in my own particular school had difficulty getting in with the limited number of spaces that we have for our BSN program, just on like, it would be a 4-year degree for a nurse. And I'm actually really glad that they're opening up more spaces because there were so many people who were, while there's a bigger need for nurses and that they're kind of coming on board from every different background, it seems that while there's people enthusiastic to participate, there's not enough spaces for them. So I'm really glad to see that another school in our community is really making those spaces available kind of based on that need because it's there and those students are really excited to do it. And it was really unfortunate to see how many students Hunter had to turn away because we just didn't have the space for it. So,
It's true all across CUNY.
yeah. So I'm glad that they...
Terrible mistake about 10 years ago when several schools of nursing at CUNY were closed in face of financial difficulty. It was
No, we're rectifying that.
short-sighted. So we're making up for it.
Okay. Any more questions? If not, let's call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item number 1B9, your college changing the name of the School of Health and Behavioral Sciences.
The new name accurately reflects the current composition of the department, which houses programs in health sciences, teacher education, and social work. And this action also was approved by the New York College Senate on March 25th.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Second, discussions, questions? If not, let's move the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Okay, informational items.
We have just one information item, which is involves Lehman College and the Center for Theoretical and Computational Science. This center will facilitate research in the field of theoretical, natural, and computational sciences. It will engage undergraduates and graduate students in faculty and student collaborative research and provide scholarships and will sponsor lectures and symposia. A corresponding resolution is being submitted to Lehman's Chancellor's University report for June. This doesn't require a vote.
Okay. Any other item to report?
No, I just wanted to mention something. We've done our substantive business as a committee, but I think most of you here know about the city's contribution of ultimately be $50 million a year to CUNY for academic purposes. And in particular, this very generous addition to our budget includes the funding for 60 new advisors for community colleges and comprehensive colleges. It includes a massive extension of ASAP, which will go from 4,000 students to 13,000.
Wow.
It includes significant funding for our community college and comprehensive students, associate students, to take summer courses, tuition funding, and winter intersession courses. And that will become, in 3 years, it'll be $6 million a year. And those courses the funding will be for STEM courses. So it'll be for students who take any courses in the 3 areas of the Common Core, which contain STEM courses, and also in STEM majors. So those are the 3 largest components of the city funding, but it will also be spent on research opportunities for associate students in STEM fields, including opportunities to work with professors in science labs, and also to be employed for a semester in work environments involving STEM fields. So we think this will be very significant for our STEM students in encouraging them and developing their skills. We're delighted to have received this funding from the city.
In how long a time period to jump from 4,000 to 13,000?
Well, this year, it will just be the long planned expansion of ASAP to 4,000 starting in the fall. But then the 2 years after that, there'll be a rapid acceleration in growth. And so it will require a major mobilization of all of our efforts and of all the college
That's quite a
participants.
capacity
Yes, it
building to accommodate that number of.
That's absolutely true, because as you know, the ASAP students receive a lot of special care and advisement, and so it's not as if you don't notice if you add them. You
Right,
know, they
right.
require a lot of support, and they do receive it.
So obviously, you've defined the number of new advisors and new faculty required, or is it within the existing system?
That's part of the cost of what the city is contributing for
What,
ASAP.
new staff?
Yes, yes.
They
additional
will
staff.
be advisors and faculty.
Well, ASAP, the students take the ordinary courses.
Right.
And so there won't be special hiring of faculty members for them, but there will be special hiring of support staff for them.
Support staff.
Yes.
And so you have a massive recruiting effort going on that, and the cost is associated with that.
Yes.
And where does that emanate from? From ASAP or through another division in the system?
Well, ASAP and the budget office will work together and the academic affairs office will work together to arrange this. Actually, we have a meeting next Monday morning to start planning for this. Those three components.
It's a lot of planning. Any more items?
That's all.
Okay. There are no items. A motion to adjourn?
So move.
It's a great efficiency.
Thank you for coming.
Rubber stamp.